that within every breath we take, God is. And within every breath we take, what those that have gone before us, that have really achieved, like the Fillmores who founded Unity, a oneness with God. And they say it is in that instant between the breaths that truly enlightenment comes. So let's let whatever's in the past go right now. What we have to do for the rest of the day doesn't matter in this moment. Let's be present in the moment and simply breathe. With the in-breath, deep, knowing that every breath we take is truly the gift and the breath of God. And the out-breath. And the in-breath and the out-breath. The in-breath and the out-breath. Keeping our attention on the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. Every breath we breathe is the gift and the breath of God. The in-breath, one more time, deep breath. Hold the breath and exhale. Let's do one more final time. The in-breath, hold it, and the out-breath. And let's never forget to give thanks for the very breath of life. Many aren't so fortunate. With every breath we breathe, it is truly the gift of God. One more breath, and the out-breath. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved their liberating strife, who more than self their countries loved, and mercy more than life. Oh, America, oh, perfect grace on thee. Crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, oh, beautiful, oh, beautiful, for spacious skies.
Well, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. Now let me see if I can do this right, and if not, Megan is going to come and rescue the day. All right, here we go. Oh, there, the field of life. Okay, so that is this topic for today, the field of life. Isn't our flag beautiful? Yes. And wasn't Rachel wonderful? Yes. She always is. And Herb, who gently put a microphone in my hand, thank you. And hello, LT, always good to see you. Valerie, thank you for everything, for all of you. Donna, your prayers. We've got some guests for the first time. I won't embarrass everybody by asking them to get up and give their life story. We'll do that next week, just in case you're wondering. But my dear friend Marianne has come from North Dallas. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. And Valerie's mother, Angela, is here, which I'm delighted. Welcome. And then we have a beautiful lady back there from Iowa, from Ames, Iowa. So thank you very much. Another mom. Anybody here else for the first time? Well, welcome to Unity, a path for practical Christianity. Now, just before we get going, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, years ago, my dad, who was a devout, we'll just say what he was a devout Catholic, went to church every Sunday. One Sunday in his 70s, he came and he said, "That's it, I'm not going back." And he had just started a new business at 70. He said, "You know, I've got meetings this week, I've got clients." He talked for 40 minutes, and I have nothing to take into my life for it. I have nothing to remember. I have no tools. So to come into Unity and have practical Christianity, we don't talk about the teachings of Jesus. We're here to practice them. We're here to practice the teachings of Buddha. We're here to practice all of the great avatars and saints that have gone before us. And not just leave it here, but take it into our daily lives, because I'll tell you what, life right now has never needed people like us who know the truth, that know ye are the light of the world, and that is the truth. That's what Jesus said. We believe it and we stand on it. So welcome again to Unity. Let's see now, honoring America's heroes. Yes, indeed. But so before I start, may I tell a quick joke? Are you open for that? Then we'll get serious. Okay. So a man and his wife were celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. And they were at church. There was a big celebration. And they went into the community room. And everybody was just 50 years of this beautiful married bliss. And someone said to the man, he said, "How have you done this?" He said, "Well, what did you do to keep her so happy on your 25th anniversary?" And he said, "Well, I took her to Paris, and she loved Paris. We had the most wonderful time." He said, "Wow, that was quite a 25th anniversary." He said, "Well, what did you do for your 50th?" He said, well, I went back and picked her up. That'll do it, won't it? So today we celebrate those great heroes that gave their life for this country. They didn't have to. Some were drafted, but many, many volunteered. And they knew what they were going to get into, and they did it anyway. Years ago, Eric Butterworth, the great unity minister, wrote an article, and he talked about the field of life and how each one of us are invited to get onto the field of life and basically live life on the field. And then he talked about those that sit in the bleachers and watch other people play the game of life, get on that field, do the best they can, and give their lives if that's what it takes. So we honor the heroes that have gone before us, but don't forget today to honor yourselves, because each one of us have gotten onto that battlefield of life. Some days it's a joy, everything goes our way, and other times we lose a loved one, as we have lost Virginia. A child goes astray, a bankruptcy, and we think, you know, what the heck? Why is it even worth it? Think I'll just get back on those bleachers and watch other people play. Well, today we get to look at the real heroes that got to get on that field, and no matter what, they fought the good fight and they were willing to die for what they believe in. Now, we may not be asked to give our actual lives for what we believe in, but we are asked to give the best of life that we can. We are here to be the heroes of our own life, and we never know who we will be the hero for someone else's life by our example. It could be a smile, it could be a kind word, but I'll tell you, if we're on the bleachers of life, it doesn't work. And I sat on those bleachers for many years, and I watched as people stood on that field and did what I was afraid to do. So today we really get to look not only at the heroes that have gone before us, because I imagine some of those heroes would say, don't just look at me, look to yourself. You are Americans. We need each and every one of you to go forth and be that light, be that guidance to all that we meet, and to our family. We have no idea the people we influence. Each one of us are given a certain circle of life, our families, our friends, and even those that we meet, strangers. And to those people, we get to be the smile, the encouraging word, the belief in others who can't believe in themselves. We too get to be the heroes of life. And hopefully we'll put ourselves out there and do what we're called to do. So 3 things I'd like to talk about today: courage, confidence, and commitment. Courage, let's just look at courage. Courage is bravery. And yes, we can look at those that have gone before us. 3 people I'd like to mention. Pat Tillman, I don't know if any of you remember him. He played for the Arizona Cardinals. I see someone nodding their head. And he decided that he was going to fight for America after 9/11. And he left his position as this magnificent football player and went to Afghanistan, and he gave his life because he believed in America. And he believed in being a hero, not because he wanted to be a hero, but he was heroic in his behavior. He was willing to go forth and give it all. And that's also what we're called to do today. We are all asked to go forth and give it all. You know, truly, I had no courage. I just had no courage. I'd be glad to say that. It's sad but true. I sat on those sidelines and watched life, and I don't know if you've ever had that, if someone gives you a suggestion and said, well, you know, you could go back to school, or you could do this, or you could do that. And some things, no, you know, maybe I couldn't do it. I'll tell you what, Megan got up here this morning. That was the first time that she's ever gotten up and spoken. She was fabulous. wasn't she? She got up and she did it anyway. Rachel, who just is magnificent, and at the last minute I'm asking her to change songs, she does it in a heartbeat. LT, I want to say to you, I listened to your talk a few weeks ago, and you too made a comment that it maybe not have been the most comfortable, but you did it anyway. Your talk was great, and I sent it on to other people. It was just wonderful. You know, the one word the universe loves is yes, because it's a reciprocal universe. It's the third law of physics. So when we say yes to life, as far as moving forward, life has no choice but to say yes to us. Something else starts to move us, and all of you who have said yes to an opportunity, yes to life, something starts to move through you, doesn't it? So these wonderful people that have gone before us, his name was John Basilone, and he had fought in Guadalcanal, and it was a horrific battle, and they said, John, we want you to go someplace safer now. You've done your duty. And he said, no, I'm going to Iwo Jima. And he knew the result of that. Elizabeth Ann Jones, another very brave woman, went to Saigon and lost her life. And we could go on and on and on with these heroes. And while we are never asked to physically give our lives, what Jesus said is those who lose their life for God will gain it. So each one of us are here to be the hero in our own lives and to watch these examples of these magnificent men and women who said, yes, yes, I will, yes, I'll go. It may be dangerous, it may be frightening, but I'll go anyway. Many years ago, I was asked, I had just graduated from ministerial school, and I don't know, many of you know him or not, Reverend Michael Beckwith, who had been my teacher and my mentor, was going out of town, and his office called me to speak. Now, this was 600 or 700 people, 2 services. So I got off the phone, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. No, I'm serious. So, so I called his office back. True story, I said, I think he's got the wrong Barbara White. And now with Reverend Michael, there was no podium, no notes allowed, okay? You got up there and you spoke. So I devised a way that I wrote my notes on my hands. Well, the thing of it is, my hands started to sweat so much that it all smeared. And I, you know, it sounds funny now, but I remember getting out of bed, and this is the honest truth. It wasn't just a falsity. I thought, I've got a choice this morning. I can pack my bag real quickly. I was serious in my mind. And I can go and visit a friend in Phoenix, and they'll never know. Or I can go and try. Well, my legs were shaking so badly, I thought I was going to, I mean, people could see, my son was in the front row. He said, Mother, your legs were shaking the whole time. But you know, something within me moved through. Once I made the commitment, it was no longer me getting up there. Something else takes over for us. Something else took over for those heroes. It wasn't just Pat Tillman or John Basilone. Something else moved them forward because they said yes to life. So for each one of us, the courage, not because of us personally, because me personally, I'd be having my 6th cup of coffee and watching something, but something within us moves us forward. So when we say yes to getting on the field of life, something else takes over. There's a power for good in this universe, and we can use it. And you know, that was always the thing. The power for good in this universe, and we could use it. But I remember years ago, Reverend Michael getting up and saying, not only can we use it, but it can use us. And that changed everything. I never thought that I could be a conduit for God. Here was this quiet woman sitting on the bleachers of life, afraid to say boo, basically. And the thought that, you know, I could do something, that God needed me. And then of course the song that Reverend Michael and Ricky Byers wrote, use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And we have no idea all that we must do. But daily, a friend of mine, some of you may know Alexis Rice, she used to say, the first thing she said in the morning was, lead me where you need me, and I will follow. And I love that, because when we say that prayer, synchronicities happen. People come out of the blue that normally, life opens up. You know, this is a universe, and I can use the word God, I can use the word grand operational design, I can use the word universe. But something happens in this universe when we are opened, not only to praying to God, but also to say, what can I do for you today? There is a meaning and purpose for my life. We're not here by accident, and we're not original sinners, by the way. That is a falsity. We are here as the original blessing to life. And if we don't shine our star, and if we don't shine our light, the light doesn't go on. It's like this huge kaleidoscope of life. And each one of us have our light to shine as only we can do it. And if I decide, as I did for many years, to sit on the bleachers of life and watch other people on the field, then my light doesn't shine. But each one of you are here this morning. You made a choice to be here. You could have been home. You could have been out to brunch. And you are letting your light shine. Each one of you. I can see it. I can see it. So the courage, because that is the first thing. If we don't have the courage, sometimes, have you ever done that? I'd just rather cover my head with blankets in the morning and not get up. Anybody else ever done that? Or am I the only one? Two hands, I like that, me too. So it takes courage. And again, we look at these heroes that have gone before us, and they really tell us this is what courage is. You get on the field of life and you fight the good fight. And by the grace of God, you are elevated and lifted into places you'll never ever dream of being, because that is what God does through us. So courage, you know, many years ago, I read this story, a book, which helped me enormously. I refer to it a lot. Susan Jeffers wrote it, and it was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Anybody else read that book? I read it again and again because the fear was so great in me. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's how we're called to life, out of the bleachers. That's what these young men and women, some of them were 18 years old, that got on the field of life. They felt the fear and they did it anyway. The courage to be. You know, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is saying, with men, it's not possible. But with God, all things are possible. And each one of us, if we were willing, now I'm going to call on everybody after church, by the way. No. I thought I'd get your adrenaline up for a minute. But each one of us, you know, with men, it's not possible. But when we are anchored in this marvelous faith called unity, then with God, all things are possible. Because the first tenet of unity is one life. That life is God's life. And that life is my life now. That divine spark is within each one of us. Now, it's up to us. Do we say yes to letting it open and flow with us? Or we decide to sit this one out? Oh, well, next lifetime I'll get it. Well, don't do that. It's this lifetime. It's the here and the now. So it's the courage that these men and women showed us on the field of life. That's where we're invited today. So let's see if we can do this. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go back. Confident. Courage. Let's go forward. Confidence. All right. You know, the Gospel of John says, don't you know that ye are gods? Now, many people say, yes, we're God, but it says, ye are gods. So does that mean we go forth like Shirley MacLaine, remember running down the beach saying, I am God, and people thought they were ready to lock her up. So we don't have to run down the beach, and we don't have a beach here, so this is good news. But truly, we are the representations of God on earth. Ye are God's. Not only are we God's possessive, with God apostrophe S, but ye are God's. We are here, we've accepted that assignment, to be the God to each person that we meet, to be the love, the peace, the joy, the confidence, the belief. These young men and women that went before us, had confidence. They had confidence because they were trained. Did they have fear? Of course. The fear must have been great, but they felt the fear and they did it anyway. So in Unity, I was watching as Megan was going through all of the wonderful classes and speakers you have. So building our confidence, building our own belief in ourselves, never from an egotistical standpoint, but knowing that we have been called at this time and this place to be on that field of life, just as those young men and women. And we may not be asked to give our lives, our physical lives, but we are asked to give our spiritual lives, the life that lives within us, the life of God, the life of grace, to all the people that we meet. You know, the Fillmores that founded Unity. Charles was a real estate agent. Myrtle was a teacher. But they had confidence. They had confidence in a belief that there was something greater for them, that there was a God that could heal. And Charles had broken his, can you imagine in the 1800s breaking your hip? There was nothing they could do about it. So Charles ended up with a leg, some say 3 inches, some say 6 inches shorter. Myrtle had TB, tuberculosis, which you died from at that time. But they had confidence and they had a belief so great in the healing power of God that they were healed. Myrtle went on to live a long life. Charles lived till he was 93 with very little lymph left at all. That leg grew. Prayers. With God, all things are possible. You know, I think about Jesus. I was just reading that story. The confidence Jesus must have had, not in himself as a man, but the confidence in his God self, that miracles could occur, that miracles can occur and do occur. Can you imagine he had 5,000 people out there speaking, and he was speaking till close to dusk in the evening. And these people were hungry and they were tired. Now, these people didn't ride horses or drive cars to go see him. They walked, and they walked barefoot. And his apostles came to him. They said, Jesus, they're hungry. They're hungry. What can we do? We have 5 fish and 2 loaves. We have 5 loaves and 2 fish. What shall we do? And Jesus said, you will pass the fish and the loaves out. Well, it ended up that they multiplied into thousands and thousands. Not only did he feed them, but there was bread and there were fish left over. Now, I don't believe that Jesus, the man himself, knew that he could do this. But Jesus, the God himself, was so strong and so powerful that miracles occurred. Now, we may not go out today and feed 5,000 people, but the God in each one of us is so strong that we can do things that we never, ever thought we could do. I'll give you just one, since I'm talking about myself, I'll give you one more example. Years ago, on the bleachers of my life, I was asked to speak to my son, my middle son's kindergarten group. And I was so terrified, honest truth, I couldn't do it. I got up there and I froze and no words would come out. Now, this was long before I knew about Unity or Science of Mind, Center for Spiritual Living. So when I look at my life, and I still get scared when I'm up here, there's no question. It really takes courage sometimes, but I have to know that I have said yes to life, and I have said yes to doing this. And as long as I say yes, and as long as you say yes, then the very thing that you're most afraid of, that we're most all afraid of, something more will come through us, something so great and so vast that it keeps this universe in perfect order. And the first law of the universe is always divine order. And this is the love intelligence that governs this universe. So could we have any doubt that it could move through us? It could talk through us? It could act through us? It could sing through us? How could we have any doubt at all? So anyway, confidence. The people that let me ask a question. How many people have fought in one of the wars? Is there anybody here that have been in the service? Is there anybody here that has lost anybody in the service? You have. A parent? A grandparent? Your uncle, yeah. Well, God bless him for his bravery. Yeah. Anybody else? It's a high calling, for sure. And they had the confidence because they were trained to know what to do. Take every advantage of this unity faith. Take your classes, go to church, so you too are anchored in the confidence. One life moving through each and every one of us in the most beautiful ways. When I was in ministerial school, again, it was so out of my comfort zone. And I went anyway. I was putting 3 kids through college. I had a full-time job, and I was going to school at night. And there were times when I thought, this is ridiculous. You know, I'm of a certain age, minus you, I was only 25. That's a joke. But I was of a certain age. I wasn't sure about changing careers. And Nike had just come out with the saying, just do it. I bet I made 50 signs. I had them all over my apartment, all over the mirror. Just do it. And they did it. These men and women that we honor today or tomorrow is actually the day. They just did it. So whatever it is that you're called to do and think, I cannot do it, just do it. Because there's a power and a presence within you that can do it, that knows the answers, that the right people start to show up. Books, and that's the honest truth. Have you ever had that? Books, I'll be thinking of something or someone will tell me they were thinking, and literally a book falls off the shelf and there's the answer. Or you're driving and there's a bulletin board and you think, oh my gosh, that's the answer right there. And they, oh, you know, it's coincidence. There are no coincidences. God is at work. This universe is so wise. It's always working. And those that say yes to life, and yes, even to the death as we celebrate these young men, God and this universe is working through them, for us, every single day of our life. And let's look at commitment. Are we committed? Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said this. He said, let the God within you express itself through you in the world. Let the God within you express itself through you into this world. That's a commitment. Every day, lead me where you need me and I will follow. If I'm on the bleachers of life right now because life has dealt me a hard hand, this is the day to say, enough. I'm getting back on the field of life. I'm going to join with those brave men and women who said yes to proclaiming our freedom by fighting for us. Well, we're not going to probably be asked to ever get on a battlefield per se, but sometimes life is a battlefield. But don't ever doubt that whatever you need in this moment, if we ask and ye shall receive, it shall be given to you. So we may never be asked to die for our country, but we are asked to give our very best every single day, because if we don't let our light shine, it won't shine. You know, the end of the taps goes, you know, day is done, gone the sun. From the lakes to the valley, to the lakes, to the hills, to the valleys. I had it all right, but all is well. God is nigh. That's what it is. God is nigh, and all is well. And it's all well because it is all God. Oh, I just the batteries. So we're just going to have to remember confidence. First of all, thank you. Courage. The courage to say yes. Yes to life. Yes to being on the field of life. And we have any doubt, let it go. Get off the bleachers because you're needed. Life needs us. And the confidence because we know who we are. We know that we may not know exactly what our assignment is, but what we know is that life needs us as it needed those young men and women that gave their life. And then it's a commitment to continue to learn more about this magnificent practical Christianity called unity, to study, to make the commitment as those young men and women made, to get on that field of life and fight till the end. Well, we're not going to fight to the end. We are going to bless to the end. We are going to be a blessing to life itself. We are going to bless each other. And you know what? We are going to every day bless ourselves because truly we are the heroes of our life. So God bless us all. Bless those who have gone before us that have given their life. And I'm so grateful to be here. God bless you.
Well, I don't have the answer. I don't know the reason why you had to leave us, why you had to fly. 'Cause sometimes there's a shortcut. It may look like the ending, even though we're just beginning. On the flip side, and with me on the other side, ride the ocean tide to the shore of life. Yeah, we're gonna meet there in the light on the highest high. Climb the hill to paradise. It's just a dress rehearsal, just a carousel. You can never tell, so enjoy the ride from sunrise to sunset. Chances by the dozen for lots of hugs and loving and sunny smiles. Yeah, we'll meet on the other side. Ride the ocean tide to the shore of life. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna meet in the northern sky. Never say goodbye. We'll never wonder why. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna meet, yeah, on the other side. Ride the ocean tide to the shore of life. Yeah, we're gonna meet over in the by and by. Ride the highest high, climb the hill to paradise. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna meet over in the northern sky. We'll never say goodbye, and we'll meet on the shore of life. You and me, we're gonna meet, yeah, on the other side. Never say goodbye on the hill to paradise.
Thank you, Rachel. She just always puts a big old smile on our faces, doesn't she? Yes, she does. Thank you for that. And thank you, Reverend Barbara. I'm fessing up, though. I was having so many blonde moments the first of the service that I made the joke it was my first time, but I've actually done this many times before. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for the shout out of courage. It took a lot of courage to continue in the blonde moments, because then I completely spaced doing the ding-a-ling with the meditation bowl. And so, apparently I've decided to make a day of being a ding-a-ling. Thank you. Right back at you. I beg. Today, we are going to continue with our affirmation for our new minister. So, will you please say this affirmation with me? We embrace with love, joy, and harmony a creative and dedicated spiritual leader who will bring positivity and connection with our community at Unity on Greenville. Thank you. And now if you'll please say our vision with us. We see a world where every being lives in awareness of their sacred oneness and divine light. Thank you. Wow. Whoopsie. You can do it. Thank you. If you would like to connect with us, please do so on our website. It's dallasunity.org. If you click on the Connect button, you can request prayer, and you can also sign up for our e-newsletter that shows up on your email every Wednesday. So please do so. Before we do this, normally we would do the peace song, but just kidding, it's Memorial Day. So we are going to do God Bless America.
All right, let's see if you guys can remember. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. And God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you. And now we'll do the prayer for protection. Please say it with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Memorial Day weekend, and see y'all next week.